You're listening to Small Business in Small Bites, a podcast designed to help you better understand your customers, your business, and even yourself one easily digestible idea at a time. Now here's John Preston.
Today I want to share a story with you that I think will help you better understand just how an effective branding campaign can drive your bottom line, and perhaps in ways that you would never realize that it was working. Along the way, I think it will also help you understand how Facebook advertising can work and often not work, and how an effective branding campaign can really make your social media advertising campaigns much more effective. A while back, I met with a roofer. And when I walked in his office, he looked at me and he says, "I'll tell you right now, before we get started, I'm not going to buy any advertising. I've never had to, and I never will, and I've done just fine." And I looked at him. I said, "Well, how do you get customers?" He said, "I have 2 salespeople who go door to door in neighborhoods and sell my roofs." And I looked at him. I said, "Well, don't you have to deal with people that are thinking you're there to scam them?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely. But we train our people to deal with that, and they're able to get past that and sell people on our roofs." And I was like, "Okay, I'm glad that's worked for you. It's obviously kept you in business all these years. But let me do a thought experiment. Let's imagine for a second that you have 2 absolutely identical salespeople, identical in every way. And one of them goes into a neighborhood and does exactly what you're currently doing. They walk up on the front porch, they knock on the door. The person at the house may or may not answer in today's world. And when they do answer, you have to convince them that you're not there to scam them and then trying to sell them on a roof. Now let's imagine you send this second identical salesperson to a neighborhood, and when you pull in the driveway, that homeowner recognizes your truck. When you walk up to the door and introduce yourself, that homeowner remembers that perhaps they saw you on an ad on TV and you were talking about the right type of roof for a home. Or let's say they read something you wrote in a magazine about how to pick the right type of roof. Now, which one of those 2 identical salespeople are going to make the most sales? The one that has to convince people that you're not scamming them? Or the one that walks into a fertilized environment where the people already know your business and trust it? The person in that second example is going to make 20 times more sales than the person going into the neighborhood cold. Often that's what advertising is about, especially when you run a branding campaign. It's about fertilizing the soil so that everything else you do in business works better. That same sort of thing applies directly to Facebook advertising. In the digital world, our home screen or our news stream on our Facebook page is our digital front porch. It's where our friends show up to tell us what's happening in their life. When a business shows up on that front porch that I don't know, I don't want them there. They're an intruder. They're infringing on my personal space. Same as that roofing salesperson showing up on a porch. However, when a business shows up in my news stream that I'm familiar with, that I know a little bit about, that I trust, that perhaps I even consider to be part of my community, it's not an intrusion. They should be there. They're part of my community. Studies have shown that when a Facebook ad campaign or any other social media campaign is married with an effective branding campaign, the number of click-throughs on that ad goes up significantly because you're no longer an intrusion on their news stream. And that's why the 2 together often work much more effectively. So when you're looking at advertising and you're wondering, well, that doesn't work for me, remember, most of the time, with a branding campaign especially, or with any advertising campaign, it's about fertilizing the soil so that the other efforts that you put forth to get customers are more effective and get you more customers and put more profit in your bank account.